Has Mercedes found the key to beating Red Bull in 2025? Its new W16 is a total revolution, but there is one detail that few have noticed and it could change everything. Before I tell you, tell me in the comments, do you think Mercedes will be able to win the championship with this car, or will Red Bull continue to dominate? Because what we will reveal today might surprise you. Mercedes has opted for a drastic change in the design of the W16, with the aim of solving the aerodynamic deficiencies that limited the team's performance in previous seasons. From the W13 to the W15, the car suffered from stability problems on the rear axle, affecting its ability to generate downforce efficiently. For 2025, the team has made significant modifications to the rear suspension, adopting a revised torsion arm scheme. This solution seeks to balance aerodynamic load with the car's mechanical response in high-speed corners, a determining factor on circuits such as Suzuka and Silverstone, where Mercedes struggled in 2024. The aerodynamic redesign is also reflected in the front of the car. The W16 maintains the gull-wing philosophy, introduced in the middle of last season, but with adjustments to the end plate profile. This change allows the airflow to be optimized towards the side pods, improving aerodynamic efficiency in the middle part of the car. Leaked images from the wind tunnel have revealed that the side pods feature a narrower and more aggressive configuration, similar to that used by Ferrari in 2024, but with a steeper convergence angle. This suggests that Mercedes is prioritizing the channeling of airflow towards the diffuser area, a key aspect to maximize aerodynamic load without generating unnecessary drag on straights. Another relevant aspect of the redesign is the relocation of internal components to improve mass balance. The team has worked on redistributing the power unit elements, which could contribute to better handling in tight corners. This adjustment has been highlighted by George Russell, who mentioned in recent interviews that the W16 feels more predictable and stable in simulations. The W16 redesign not only seeks to improve immediate performance in the 2025 season, but is also a first step in preparing for the 2026 regulatory changes. Mercedes has implemented aerodynamic and structural solutions that could be adapted to the new regulations, indicating that the team is not only focused on making up ground this year, but also on developing a solid foundation for the future. Mercedes has made strategic adjustments to its power unit for 2025, looking to make up ground on Red Bull and Ferrari. The M15E performance engine has been developed with a focus on thermal efficiency and energy flow optimization, taking advantage of regulatory changes to fuel flow. According to internal sources, the modifications will allow the car to operate in higher engine speed ranges without compromising reliability, resulting in an estimated increase of between 15 and 20 horsepower compared to the version used in 2024. One of the most important changes is the relocation of the energy recovery system. Mercedes has worked on improving the integration of the ERS within the chassis, redistributing the weight to optimize the stability of the car in low-speed corners. This adjustment seeks to solve one of the main problems that affected the team in previous seasons: the difficulty in maintaining traction on the exit of tight corners, especially on urban circuits such as Monaco and Singapore. The team has placed special emphasis on the efficiency of the turbocharger and the hybrid system. The new configuration allows for better management of the exhaust gas flow, optimizing power delivery and reducing the delay in engine response. This improvement is essential for acceleration on short straights, where Mercedes lost valuable time to its rivals in the previous season. George Russell has highlighted the W16's handling during early simulator testing, mentioning that power delivery is more linear and predictable, making it easier to adapt to different aerodynamic configurations. This feature is key on a calendar that includes circuits with varied energy demands, from high-speed layouts such as Monza to technical sectors such as Zandvoort and Marina Bay. The development of the M15E performance engine is also linked to Mercedes' long-term planning. Although the main focus is on 2025, the team has already begun experimenting with concepts that could be applied to the 2026 regulations, which will include smaller engines and restrictions on aerodynamics. The optimization of the hybrid system and the restructuring of the battery pack indicate that Mercedes is looking for a gradual transition to the new regulations without compromising its competitiveness in the current season. The key for Mercedes will be to maintain a balance between power and efficiency, ensuring that the increase in horsepower does not affect the durability of the engine throughout the year. Component management will be key, especially in a season where power unit limits remain restricted. Strategic use of the energy recovery system and correct thermal management could make the difference in the fight against Red Bull and Ferrari. Mercedes starts the 2025 season with a completely renewed lineup compared to the years of absolute dominance between 2014 and 2021. The departure of Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari marks the end of an era and leaves George Russell as the new benchmark of the team, accompanied by the young promise Kimi Antonelli. This combination represents a change in the team's philosophy, betting on consolidated leadership and developing talent with long-term potential. Since his arrival at Mercedes in 2022, George Russell has proven to be a driver with the ability to compete at the highest level. His victory at the Brazilian Grand Prix in 2022 and his performance in 2024, with 3 wins and 6 podiums, consolidated his position as a key player within the team. Now, without Hamilton's shadow, Russell has the opportunity to take on the full leadership role at Mercedes, which means greater responsibility for the development of the car and race strategy. One of Russell's key attributes is his ability to manage tires on long runs, a key factor at high-degradation circuits such as Barcelona or Silverstone. In previous seasons, his technical approach and ability to provide detailed information to the engineers have been instrumental in improving the performance of the car. Toto Wolff has repeatedly highlighted his maturity and commitment to the team, especially in simulator sessions, where his feedback has been decisive in the evolution of the W16. The biggest challenge for Russell in 2025 will be to prove that he can lead Mercedes over a full season against rivals such as Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. Although he has shown speed and consistency, the pressure of being the lead driver can generate a new level of demand. His performance in high-pressure situations such as qualifying and on-track battles against the Red Bull and Ferrari drivers will be key to determining whether he can establish himself as a real title contender. Kimi Antonelli's promotion to Mercedes is one of the team's boldest decisions in recent years. At just 18, Antonelli becomes one of the youngest drivers to make his Formula One debut, raising high expectations but also some doubts about his adaptation to the highest level. His performance in Formula 2 in 2024 was inconsistent, finishing 6th in the championship with 2 wins. However, his ability to process technical data and his quick adaptation to the 18-inch Pirelli tires impressed the team. Mercedes has closely followed his development since his entry into the young driver program and is confident that his natural talent will allow him to develop quickly in the top category. One of the main challenges for Antonelli will be tire management in long races, an area in which young drivers often struggle at the start of their Formula One career. The transition from lower categories to Formula One involves greater complexity in managing the compounds, especially in strategic races where degradation plays a crucial role. Analysts such as Peter Windsor have pointed out that Antonelli's lack of experience in this area could represent an initial disadvantage, although his ability to learn and adapt will be determining factors in his evolution. To facilitate his integration into the team, Mercedes has appointed Valtteri Bottas as reserve driver and advisor. Bottas, who was part of the team between 2017 and 2021, knows Brackley's working philosophy perfectly and will bring his experience in the development of the W16. His role will include simulator sessions and private testing, with a focus on suspension setup and optimizing the balance of the car. The success of the Russell-Antonelli duo will depend on how quickly Antonelli adapts to Formula One and Russell's ability to take on the leadership of the team. Mercedes has opted for a combination of experience and youth, with the aim of building a long-term project that will allow them to return to the fight for championships. The 2025 season will be a crucial test for this new era at the Brackley team. Mercedes has defined a strategy based on technical stability and the progressive optimization of the W16 to close the gap with Red Bull and Ferrari. After several years in which the team opted for innovative solutions that, in some cases, generated more problems than they solved, the mentality for 2025 is clear. Avoid hasty decisions and validate each change with an exhaustive protocol. The team has implemented a 3-phase validation system to ensure that each improvement applied to the car has a positive impact on overall performance. Before a new part or configuration is introduced, evaluation begins in the simulator, where drivers and engineers analyze its effect in different race scenarios. The modifications are then tested in the wind tunnel, ensuring that the aerodynamic adjustments meet efficiency targets without generating instability in the car. Finally, track testing allows the results to be confirmed in real conditions, minimizing the risk of unexpected changes during the season. This approach seeks to avoid situations such as the one that occurred in 2023, when Mercedes introduced a new rear wing design that, while improving downforce in high-speed corners, caused an increase in porpoising on straights, affecting the stability of the car. Learning from these mistakes, the team has established a more rigorous methodology in technical decision-making, prioritizing consistency in the development of the W16 rather than making aggressive modifications without a comprehensive evaluation. One of the key points in the strategy for 2025 is tire management. In previous seasons, Mercedes has struggled to maintain compound performance in high degradation conditions, especially at circuits such as Barcelona and Silverstone. To address this, the team has worked on a suspension setup that allows for more efficient distribution of downforce, reducing rear tire wear in long-duration races. Another key aspect of Mercedes' strategy is flexibility in setting up the car according to the characteristics of each circuit. Unlike Red Bull, whose aerodynamic design has allowed it to dominate on most tracks without the need for significant adjustments, Mercedes has opted to develop a W16 that can adapt more easily to different types of track. The team has prepared specific aerodynamic packages for high-speed circuits, such as Monza, and for tracks with technical sectors, such as Zandvoort and Singapore. This versatility could be a key advantage in the fight against Ferrari, which in 2024 showed inconsistent performance depending on track conditions. Beyond the current season, Mercedes has already begun preparing development for 2026, when new regulations will come into force that will radically change the structure of the cars. Some 30% of the aerodynamics team is already working on solutions that can anticipate these changes, exploring flat-bottom concepts with active air channels that could be legal under the new regulations. This parallel approach shows that Mercedes is not only looking to be competitive in 2025, but also to lay the foundations for the next era of Formula One. The key for Mercedes in 2025 will be to find a balance between performance and reliability. While Red Bull starts out as the team to beat and Ferrari continues to evolve with constant improvements, Mercedes is betting on a controlled evolution of the W16, prioritizing technical stability and consistency in every decision. The season will be a challenge for the Brackley team, but if they manage to execute their strategy precisely, they could regain the competitiveness that led them to dominate Formula One for almost a decade. Mercedes faces the 2025 season with a car that reflects both the evolution of its design philosophy and the lessons learned in recent years. The W16 has been developed with a meticulous approach, prioritizing aerodynamic stability, mechanical efficiency, and better power unit integration. Unlike previous seasons, the team has adopted a more rigorous validation process to avoid errors that compromise its performance in the race. The success of the project will depend on multiple factors. On the technical side, the effectiveness of the rear redesign will be key to solving the stability problems that affected previous models. The adaptability of the M15E performance engine and its reliability throughout the season will determine whether Mercedes can stay in the fight with Red Bull and Ferrari. In strategic terms, the implementation of specific configurations for different circuits will allow an assessment of whether the versatility of the W16 is sufficient to compete on a calendar with such varied characteristics. Beyond the development of the car, the season will also mark a turning point in the driver lineup. George Russell takes over the leadership of the team at a key moment in his career, with the responsibility of guiding Mercedes through the transition into a new era. His ability to manage pressure and translate his speed into consistent results will be decisive for the team's aspirations. On the other hand, Kimi Antonelli faces his first season in Formula One with the opportunity to prove that his talent is enough to compete at the highest level. His adaptation to the category and his evolution throughout the year will be aspects that will define not only his future, but also the balance within the team. Mercedes' strategy for 2025 is not limited solely to the fight for the current championship. With an eye on 2026, the team has already allocated significant resources to research into aerodynamic and structural solutions that will allow them to be ready for the next regulation. This decision reflects a long-term approach, where every advance on the W16 not only has an impact on the current season, but also contributes to the development base for the future. With all these elements in play, the big question remains whether Mercedes can regain its place at the top of Formula One. The team has proven in the past its ability to reinvent itself and come back stronger after difficult seasons. However, the competition has never been so intense, with Red Bull established as the team to beat and Ferrari in the midst of technical evolution. The W16 represents more than just a new car for Mercedes. It is the symbol of a team looking to prove it can still be a protagonist in Formula One. The combination of technical innovation, well-calculated strategies, and a new driver pairing puts the team in a challenging but opportunity-filled position. The 2025 season will be the ultimate test of whether Mercedes is truly ready to fight for the championship again or whether the road to recovery will be longer than expected. If you want to keep up to date with every detail of the W16's performance and the impact of Russell and Antonelli on the team, stay tuned for the upcoming analysis. And now, the question is for you. Do you think Mercedes has done enough to become a winning team again, or is it still a step behind Red Bull and Ferrari? Leave your opinion in the comments and join the conversation.